Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at the current #1 team on PvPoke, and we're going to have here a team that is going to have two buff Pokemon with both the Sableye as well as the Malamar. I actually haven't taken a look yet at Malamar in this season, so this is going to be the first time for me running this Pokemon this season. I think I make a mistake here, by the way. Yeah, I should have went for the foul play a little bit earlier. I know that in the sped up you don't really see it. There was a bit of a tiny delay in terms of the fast move from the opponent, so I wasn't too sure about the timing. At the end of the day, I should have always just went for the foul play before I get the debuff. That is a bit of a silly play. But it is what it is, and we can see here that we're at least still gonna get to the foul play in time here, and so there's nothing that the opponent can do to realign, to do anything here. If they want to use a shield, I can use a shield as well, and we can still keep the alignment, which is going to be absolutely lovely, as then we're going to be able to have the Grumpig, I think there was in the lead, up against the Malamar, and we're going to have the opponent's Morpeko up against our ground-type Pokemon, which is going to be absolutely amazing. And so, here, we want to see the swap out straight away. We can go for our foul play. There's going to be, I think, one battle most likely in here today. We have Psycho Cut still on the Malamar because I accidentally used the wrong one. I have actually two Malamars built. I actually don't really know why. Like, both of them are really similar rank. I have no idea why I built two of them. Anyway, we will see here that we can go for the full farm, not even, unless they go for the Shadow Ball, which they decide to go for, which is a very smart idea from them. And as we will see here, we're going to be able to go for the full farm down, and the Morpeko doesn't really want to play against me anymore. So next up, let's see who we're going to have here. We're going to have a Togetic. Togetic is an interesting Pokemon. This Pokemon here got buffed this season as well, having access to Psyshock, and of course it's going to be a bit of a trickier one here, as we have now the Sludge Bomb coming through, and I could have maybe played it a bit better. Here's the thing, I was kind of unsure about the timing of the move Psyshock here, and so I was assuming basically that this is going to be the best way to go, but they're actually still going to get to another move, and yeah, the full farm run wasn't the best way to go, but luckily they're going to have a Pokemon in the back here that I can definitely deal with, and then we're going to see the Morpeko, and I'm kind of forced to use a shield. The reason for this is, I need to kind of be in a position, what the hell is going on here? I need to kind of be in a position where the opponent is in the electric type form of the Morpeko against our Clodsire, because otherwise we're not going to be able to really have a great time there. But actually with the health that we're currently at, even this will not really help. But I think the opponent should be still locked into the matchup, and so we should be fine here with the Earthquake. This is going to be enough to get the KO here, and as we will see, they're going to have only the Claydol. I can still go for the Earthquake, which is going to allow us to put them into a range where we're gonna get them here as well. We're gonna be able to just go for a foul play and win the battle, so that is going to be a good game. Moving on, we're going to have here the Jumpluff in the lead. Also, one more thing as well, this team is not the exact team that we're going to have here at the current #1 spot on PvPoke. The exact team is that you run the Stone Edge on the Clodsire, which I tried to get. I got 3 more charge TMs again after the last video where I had to need to use an Elite TM on a Center Scorch to get a normal move. I tried to get some more charge TMs, I got some more charge TMs, got 3 of them, and got from Sludge Bomb, which I had before, to Acid Spray, to Water Pulse, back to Sludge Bomb. So yeah, that was not worth it to change. And then we're going to have here the other Pokemon is going to be the Sableye. And I just don't really want to get rid of the return of my normal Sableye, because PvPoke is just the normal Sableye. But yeah, again, I feel like both of them are totally fine here. As we will see, we will have here the Clodsire against that Jumpluff, which is really important. It's going to be our best matchup, as our backline is going to struggle against the Fairy Wind damage of the opponent. And so here we have the Sludge Bomb coming through. This is going to allow us to get a lot of damage onto them, and as the shields are down, we're gonna be able to swap out into the Malamar. They have a charge move stored for sure onto their Pokemon, and so I can go for the charge move straight away afterwards, trying to get rid of the energy and time, and that is absolutely amazing, because in the back it's going to be the Annihilate. We can still go for another charge move here, but no matter what they're going to have, unless it is a Shadow Ball variant of Annihilate, they have no play against our Sableye, and this is going to be a very good game. Up next, we're going to have Weezing, and this Pokemon here is going to be great for our lead, but not so great for our backline. I make a big mistake here. I should have never went into my Sableye against the Lapras, because I have a Pokemon with superpower, super effective. Would have made more sense to go into my other Pokemon there for sure. And even the fast move of Psywave would have been more resisted on our Malamar than it is here on the Sableye. That being said, it's not going to be the worst matchup either. We still will be able to usually win this matchup here thanks to our fast move being neutral and their fast move being double resisted. So yeah, we are still going to be able to come on top of it here, and we can still get another move here that was very close. I was a bit scared, I have to say there, but we're actually going to get them into range now where even a Sludge Bomb most likely going to be enough to knock them out, and so we're going to go straight for that one. They could have something like an Overheat here as well if they are playing something spicy. Most people running Sludge and Brutal Swing, they have actually Overheat, and then I revealed that they're going to have the Cradily in the back, and in this case it was actually the ideal play on how I played against the Lapras, because the Cradily, I really kind of need the Melama a little bit more for that one because of the superpower damage. Look at the superpower damage here, it is going to be enough to get them kind of low. Is this going to be enough to get the KO? It should be enough to get the KO, right? Yes, just barely, and as we'll see here, the Weezing. I'm making a mistake here, by the way. I should have went for the foul play. I don't know why I went for the superpower. Superpower is double resisted, while foul play is single resisted, and I would have knocked them out already. But we still have a shield left, so I think I'm going to be fine just farming them down anyway, but I could have won this already before I even had to go into the Clodsire. Pangoro is next. This is going to be very good for us to see in the lead, but also for our backline, it can be a matchup where we're going to have some solid play against because we're going to have at least good coverage. We have Superpower and we're going to have Dazzling Gleam, both of which should be enough to knock them out, especially from this range after all the Poison Sting damage. So I'm not too worried about it. Let's see on how this is going to go. We will have the Earthquake connecting here and also getting a ton of damage. Perfectly enough as well for the full farm down, and they reveal that they're going to have a Grumpig and a Clodsire. Again, I should have mostly rather stopped onto the Melama. Here it is for this team not as important in which Pokemon you really go. Like, both of them have very similar weaknesses because they have a very similar typing, with the Dark typing on both of them, and then Ghost and Psychic have at least one common weakness. Or no, two common weaknesses with Dark and Ghost, so they have a very similar typing chart there. Of course, the Melama would be 4 times weak to Bug type moves, where the other one would be neutral against it, but yeah, basically it is the same kind of way of how they deal with each other, and both of them have great coverage moves. I love times like Shadow Claw a little bit more with this Shadow boost on top of it as well, like from the Sableye. But yeah, at the end of the day, both of them are going to be great saves-offs for your team. Doesn't really matter which one you want to go into. I just prefer the Sableye, but again, especially in matchups like this where you have something like a Grumpig or something, rather go into the worst Pokemon, which is going to be the Melama for you. But yeah, which I didn't even say yet, but you most say it's on the title as well. I went 5-0 again with this team, like the last team basically. I went 5-0 with, here I went 5-0 with. This team was absolutely amazing. There's still more battles to come, so stay tuned for some more. Also, I can take the time and maybe to ask for a like, would really appreciate it, helps us out. Celfkey. And then swap out into the Blasters. We stay in for a little bit because we know that the Clodsire is the Pokemon that we really kind of want to keep around against the Celfkey. And we can use our Melama here now after we, debuffed them, or got a little bit of health off them basically with a Sludge Bomb, in order to knock them out, because what we can see here as well is that we can use a shield. It is going to be the Hydro Cannon, and we can go for the full farm down, which will allow us now to also go for Superpower against the Celfkey. And here, even the fast move, while it's resisted, it's doing quite some solid damage because it's a one-turn move. And we have the Superpower, which is neutral. And all of a sudden, the Celfkey is gonna go down. And now it's 3 versus 1, but it is not over at all. It is the Guzzlord. Guzzlord is way more difficult than people might expect, because this thing is going to be very tricky for our backline unless our backline has energy. Spoiler alert, our backline does not have energy. And so now it's kind of down to the Clodsire, I guess, but also not really, because we still have a shield left. I know that Foul Play is going to be the fastest move to get to for me, and so I'm going to decide to swap out now here with, again, all Pokemon actually still alive. They're 2 at 1 HP, but I swap out into my Sableye here. The Crunch is coming through, which is great that we are able to shield up the Crunch, not the the Dragon Claw there. That is absolutely important. But we are going to be also able to still outspeed them, knocking them out with another Foul Play, and that is going to be it for this game. Good game to the opponent, and we can move on to the next one. Next up, we're going to have the Guzzlord here. This is going to be, again, very kind of neutral for us. It's kind of good though to face this Pokemon in the lead. If we're gonna get them very low, we could even Shadow Claw them down later on. That would be fine as well by me. We gotta see the Dragon Claw here, and the Sludge Bombs are going to connect now. Like, Sludge Bomb is going to be very, very good right now anyway. That's going to allow us to get the shield. That's perfect. They're kind of scared of our Clotsai in the back apparently. But as soon as I'm going to be able to get both shields, like Superpower as well as Dazzling Gleam is gonna go to town, and 2 shields are down, and that means Dazzling Gleam is gonna go to town, Superpower is gonna go to town, and we all gonna go to town. So let's see what is going to be in the back here. It is going to be the Gastradon. Foul Play is going to be coming through here for sure. What do they want to hit me with? A Body Slam? Not on my watch. We can go for another Foul Play. This should get the KO against them. And Gastradon is going to go down. We still have a shield left. We sadly just are not going to be able to get to the move here. So we're forced to go for the Foul Play here. And we have to go into our own Malamar. I am a bit scared of this matchup, so I decide to use my shield here now. Never mind, I actually let the move go through. I thought I would have used the shield there, but no, they catch the move onto the Toxapex. That's okay though, because we have, I think, nearly an Earthquake still stored or something like this on our other Pokemon here. Okay, we're not even close to it, but the opponent is making a mistake. They overfarm by a bit too much, allowing us to get to that Earthquake for free. Of course, they're going to be able to knock me out with a Brine now, but I'm fairly certain that a Malamar wins the CMP tie against a Guzzlord. So as long as you're going to be able to fully farm them down, which we will be able to do here with the shield that we can put up now, I just have to go for a Superpower after this one, and I will be fine winning this battle straight away. This is going to be it for this one, and we can move on to the second to last battle of today's video. We see the Talonflame, and here it is a guessing game. Do we have Stone Edge? Do we not have Stone Edge? And of course they're going to be forced to use a shield on the first one, and afterwards you can swap out into your Sableye if you want to, and just try to pressure them a little bit more with a fast move pressure there, which is going to work out quite well for us. They're going to go for the Fly, absolutely fine, and they swap out into the Ferret, which is a bit more of a difficult one. But then again, Ferret doesn't really want to face too many moves from us either, and they have to go for a Trailblaze in order to do any damage against us. And that's going to be quite good for us, because as we see here, Trailblaze is going to come through. We can still go for another Foul Play, and this is going to either get them insanely low or get the KO. As we see here, they're going to let the move go through, and I'm going to keep my Sableye. Was that a smart idea? They go back into the Talonflame, but I'm going to be able to get them low with this Sludge Bomb, and they still have to go for 2 moves here, right? Unless they can go for a Brave Bird, but I'm not too sure if they even have Brave Bird here. They don't. They go for Fly, and now we can outspeed them and say goodbye to them. That's kind of good for us, right? They use a shield, so they're very weak to Clotsai in the back, or absolutely not, apparently. Cradily is coming in. And here I make a bit of a mistake. I should have swapped out straight away into my Malamar. I should have just kept a charge move stored and then swapped out into the Malamar, because then I would have been able to just go for the back-to-back Superpower to knock them out. Here now I'm going to try to go for a Superpower, thinking that this is going to be enough to knock them out. It is not by 1 HP. And now we lose. Like, what am I going to do now? Oh wait, they're going to go for the charge move here. I still have the Sludge Bomb. No, I don't have the Sludge Bomb stored anymore. And now we are in a very tough spot, and I think I could have won this battle if I swapped out straight away. I'm gonna try to go for a sneaky move, trying to transfer the damage over, but sadly they already get to another move here. It was the right play for me, but it didn't work out. Good game there, and we can move on to the final opponent of today's video. So, next up, we're going to have the Malamar up against the Annihilate from the opponent as I catch the move onto the Diggersby. Well played by them. Here we decide to use the Malamar as our Say-Swap. To be fair, both of them are kind of equal, but here counters neutral, while against our Sableye counter is resisted, of course, which is going to make the Malamar the worst answer, but still a Pokemon that can deal with Pokemon like the Diggersby here. Interesting to see the shield coming up, and Diggersby is definitely one of the worst Pokemon to face with this team, but it doesn't mean that this Pokemon is not beatable with this team either. And you might think, why are you gonna go ahead and go into a Clotsai now, where they do super effective damage against you? Because I kinda want to win with a Sableye. Sableye is my way for, like, yeah, to victory here. Basically, I have the Earthquake still stored. I can go for a Fire Punch. I decided to still use a shield here because I don't really want to get it too low either. And it is going to be the Toxapex in the back, and that is actually really good for me because I still have the Earthquake stored. I have the Foul Place here, but even like just with Foul Place alone, like this is going to be a matchup that's really favorable for us, especially as we like started into that matchup with an energy advantage. And now they're going to be in a very tough spot because the Toxapex against the Foul Play that's coming in, and they're forced to use a shield, they're forced to go for a Brine, and we can use the shield here as well, and we can go for nearly the full farm down here afterwards because this Brine is never going to be enough to knock us out. They're very likely going to swap soon. They don't. They give me just all the energy I want to, and I make a big mistake. I just need to go for a charge move. If I just went straight for the Foul Play, I would have won the battle here. But no, me thinking, oh, I should be kind of just going for one more fast move, losing us this battle here, or not, because Diggersby only had a 1 HP and Clodsire wins us this battle. This was the #1 team on PvPoke. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.